Hello. Hello.
Hello.
It is umbraCoffee. What number is it? 293. Damn.
7 to 300.
Yeah. Well, we're going to make that happen. We're going to make that happen. 300 is UK Festival, so that's going to be exciting. Anyway, hello, everybody. Welcome. And including all the people from HQ, which is where I am right now. So we'll go say hi to those people in a minute. But
we were just talking before, and it seems like communication is a challenging topic amongst everyone. And you were checking if people are sitting outside of the room where you are, and HQ grew up so much that finding people on the same building might be challenging as well.
Oh yeah, very much. It's a much busier office than I've seen it in ever, and there's a lot of new faces too. So.
Yeah, definitely we'll talk about what exciting is happening out there, and also going through all of the links, and maybe we will grab someone from the community teams and talk about anything exciting happening there. But let's start from the updates and some newses from this week, and something what even I missed after last week, and that proves the point of having the news channel distributed. Is something that much grateful started as a small initiative after our last week's discussion, and it's called UMB for your FYI. So stay up to date with Umbraco in 5 minutes. That sounds like a brave statement.
I like this. I actually shared a bit of insight on the Codecabin Slack, which is that, Marcin, we've talked about this many times. Yes. And we've even gone, we basically over-dev'd it, didn't we? We were like, oh, we can have Airtable and we can have all the news we're already gathering for umbraCoffee can be put in one list, and then we can rank it and score it and generate umbraCoffee as a news. Wouldn't that be so cool? And we've overbaked it, but it's awesome to see Matt doing this. I guess now we can just retire.
Yeah, I signed up, and generally I will just check the links, and that would be our agenda to discuss every week.
I think actually what Matt has said is he might be using. It might be heavily influenced by umbraCoffee about what goes in this list each week. So it's kind of a chicken and egg one, Marcin. We can't completely stop, can we?
Yeah, but at the same time, as Warren mentioned here, that emails, newsletters are new stuff. I do really like email newsletters, even though I'm a huge email hater, right? I do not read emails, but I do read newsletters, especially the ones that I pay for. So that's the thing, and I still feel like the email is the most intimate relation that you can have with someone in the internet now, because social medias can be banned, removed, or bought by Elon Musk. And everything can change, right? So that's why I think that the email is a very precious thing, and I gave my precious email to Matt here, and I do really keep fingers crossed for this initiative, because that could help us really to again accumulate the news in different channel, and then maybe reach out to more people, because not everyone is able to watch video, not everyone is able to listen to their podcast or anything, but some people still prefer to just read through the list of links and information and then do anything else what they want to do with that. So that's really a nice idea. So everyone, please, if you're interested in growing this email list and being on top of the news every week, sign up to Matt's initiative, and let's see where it will go. So that's one of the things. Second is a big product update from Rune, released not that far away in time, and it highlights majority of the things that we were talking about in last week. Of course, Umbraco 7 end of life, and all the other new releases and things. I think the interesting things to mention here is the new podcast initiative from Umbraco.
Was it DXTalk? Coffee, or if it was just with my team? I was saying a few weeks ago, we've not heard the words DXP for a little while, but it's back and better than ever, and with a podcast, so we can get
probably it will be mentioned a lot out there. So for all
hosts of DXP news.
Yeah, and I think generally, not to mention that, but I was thinking about the podcast format. We've been discussing the podcast format as well for the umbraCoffee, and I still see a huge potential in it. So it might be a really interesting opportunity for Umbraco to go beyond Umbraco community, because the DXP composability and all the other fancy, not only buzzwords, but the methodologies and approaches to the solutions landscape is something what is definitely beyond Umbraco. Far away beyond Umbraco. So fingers crossed as well for this initiative, and hosts are great, and we are looking forward for the first episode of the podcast. And something what we also were talking about, not beyond, of course, the upgrades and changes, we talked about it, and there were some blog posts talking about it as well. But roadmap updates, something what I wanted to really scan to, not here, upcoming releases, roadmaps. So yeah, that was a long blog post. But yeah, everything what we were talking about, and also we didn't know what was new, what was updated in the roadmap recently. Now is described by Rune here. So there's some new things in now for cloud and deploy and Umbraco CMS as well. Some cool things like XPath alternatives and block level variations. So things which were discussed. Some of the people mentioned that regarding to the element types and blocks in general. But now it's being worked on, and the target release is already for Umbraco 13. So that's not too far away in time, right?
No, it's not. Another one on this list that I'm fairly excited about is for deploy. It's effectively the deploy equivalent of usync migrations. So you can map data on either side, and when it comes in, to convert between certain property types. That's awesome. And also the XPath alternative. We had a bit of a discussion about that last week, I think, on the CMS community team, basically to allow for XPath to go when the new cache gets brought in, and then have a more efficient way of querying content for things like pickers, and it would go direct to the database there instead. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah, that's really nice, and it's a long list of things that are being new in now, but also there is plenty of things new in the next phase, including the workflows for Umbraco hardcore, persisted queries for GraphQL in hardcore as well, and a lot of hardcore updates here as well with the custom SMTP server too. Plus a couple of the things for the later phase also added there with custom property editors in hardcore, regional hosting for hardcore. So a lot of movements between the cloud products now benefiting for the headless offering, and lazy loaded content from Umbraco CMS, following, of course, the two other required items that are right now in the new sections.
I had an interesting conversation with a few people the past few days about sustainability, and I think Marcin, at some point we'll have a little bit of a sustainability debate on umbraCoffee, because I've got some news. It was a very interesting conversation, but I said one of the best things Umbraco can do is make the CMS more efficient, because the impact that has on as many sites as possible is huge. And a big one is the cache. If we don't have to provision so many resources because the cache is lazy loaded, then effectively we reduce our server costs and our over provisioning compute power, and just paying for a server that's running and burning electricity for no reason. So actually, I'm quite excited about that lazy loaded cache, being able to say, well, only keep my cache much smaller, have a smaller server, be a little bit more efficient with how we manage stuff, and in exchange, it becomes a far more sustainable product too.
Yeah, and I do really like this kind of discussions and debates, because there's plenty of ways to approach this topic now. And when we learn more about it, it's even simple things like file logs being stored on the storage, right? Or if we are already using some external tools to do so, or we don't want to store this file maybe beyond the specific timeframes, we can all control that and reduce some. But let's make it a debate and discussion maybe later on as well. One thing that I moved over here is Umbraco 12.2 release, and that was also described pretty well by Runa on this blog post. And it was something that was mentioned in the product update, including one of the biggest updates maybe for the 12th version so far, which is the media delivery API. We saw a lot of not only proof of concepts, I saw the production sites as well already running on top of the delivery APIs, and now there is a media delivery API enhancing the headless offering built into the product. And I don't know if it was yesterday, Jeroen was asking about the forms, if I'm correct, or someone was asking about the forms and generally the APIs for search too. And it was like, how we can handle search right now, and that's another exciting.
I know that the delivery API supports a level of filtering, but it's not necessary, and it's building an examine query basically under the hood. It's not too far from search, but if you want to do some of the more advanced things like fuzzy search and that sort of stuff, it's a little bit more difficult. You can, there's a bunch of extension points, and maybe I'll see if I can dig out the docs. There is a bunch of extension points where you can change how data is indexed specifically for the delivery API and how it gets queried as well. So yeah, there's options. It's quite flexible from a search point of view, but it's not, if you need full advanced search, it's not build your own endpoint.
And I think this is also worth to mention that this kind of approach and using the API first approach is that we can force us to build the content a little bit different, and it's no longer the same approach like, okay, let's have some kind of tree structure of pages and then we will search amongst them. It's more about preparing the search data or using external solutions or tools just made for search, which are ingested with data. And that's usually the kind of more like a composable approach these days to detach search from content. And I do love to see more of this kind of discussions, because it also raised the need for addressing them from the core perspective. And if it won't be addressed, that's also the way to go, to see maybe we can incorporate some of external search providers such as Algolia or whatever else is out there.
True.
Yeah, I saw Callum the QR code feature.
That had gone into here. I did get tagged yesterday in the tweet announcing 12.2's out. I was like, oh, what did I contribute there? It was the QR code. So I'm really glad about that one.
You had 2 contributions out here. So
really?
that's if I'm correct, that was 2 PRs. So definitely, 2 PRs here. You can see.
Does it show you which ones?
Yeah, definitely. QR code and sort content templates, 3 items.
Oh, that's excellent. Oh, I'm happy with that. Both of those things annoy me, so I'm very happy those were in.
That's the power of open source. But yeah, kudos to everyone who contributed to it for this release, and it was pretty well delivered. And again, already enhances the 12 version by a lot of the really cool improvements. So definitely worth using it from now on. So that was the Umbraco update release, and now we can talk about what is happening in the HQ.
Yes.
So that's a gathering of 7 community teams for the 2 days, so yesterday and today. Some of the people were there from Wednesday, right? Yeah. And you are talking, hacking, solving problems. What is happening? Tell us more.
Yeah, so it's been an interesting couple of days. We kicked off on Thursday morning with a talk from Niels Lungsø, who spoke about the new back office and mounting your UI in the new back office. Kind of an introduction to the extension points and the APIs and the concepts that you need to know. Really eye-opening, fantastic, very fluent talk, and you'll be pleased to know it's been recorded. It will be shared at some point towards the end of the year after festival season. It's also happening at DukeFest next week and at the UK Festival in the start of November. And even better, various meetups and stuff as well. So yeah, you'll have plenty of time to catch that talk. But it was one of the best talks I've seen all year, I think. Very fluent, quite interesting. Obviously, didn't go super detailed, but it was a nice talk. Had loads of questions right at the end. And then since then, we've been in our teams hacking and chatting and working through the problems and our focuses and trying to work some stuff there. There's a lot of focus on new back office. I think it's a big one. Obviously, sustainability, accessibility, diversity, equity, inclusion as well. Everybody's nice and busy. A few teams had some field trips. They went and maybe spoke to some people. Or I think the sustainability team went to a power plant.
The Finn company, right? And as well, I saw this on tweets somewhere. One thing that I wanted to just bring to the screen was something what Sebastian shared with me from the Umbraco community social. That the whole agenda and the whole itinerary was also shared with the community out here. What is happening, how the agenda looks like, so we can also follow and see what was happening there. But yeah, Twitter still X is still a source of the information, because a lot of the community members were sharing what they are doing there. And now you're going through the kind of focus times inside of the teams, right?
Exactly. So we've had focus times. We're actually going to be doing some more dedicated workshops starting in about half an hour, I think. So yeah, I need to do. Maybe we can let's go and make some friends. Should we try that?
Let's demystify the community teams.
Let's try. I think people are eating lunch, and I think it's quite noisy outside. So if this doesn't work, it doesn't work. But let's go see. I'll be back.
Just get back if you will be broken, right? So if not, I will improvise. Then. Yeah. So let's hope that it will work out. Just do not forget, Callum, to enable your camera.
There we go. Hello.
Yes.
Let's see how this
looks
goes.
familiar. Looks familiar.
Yeah, it looks vaguely familiar. Oh, look, we've got a Carl. Hey, and
a
Bjarka.
Let me try to put you on the big screen somehow.
Oh, on the big screen. We're going to make some friends. I'm going to make friends with Sebastian here.
I don't know how to do it. Yeah. Hello.
Oh, hello.
How it's going, guys?
Marcin.
Oh, hello, Marcin.
How's it going?
I can hold the laptop. How are you doing,
How's
Marcin?
I'm good. I'm just streaming some news on YouTube at the moment. Casual Friday. What about you?
I'm good. We've been together with core collaborators team this past few days, having fun making the contributing experience better. So we're looking into detecting extra large pull requests, trying to give some more guidance in the READMEs. I didn't know this, but the README currently starts with, do you want to contribute to Umbraco? Oh, maybe you want to contribute to something else than the code right now. Actually, I came here to contribute the code. What are you doing? So those kinds of things.
Exciting.
We are working on a social media strategy for the core collaborators team as well. So we'll be more present on Mastodon and Discord and that other thing sometimes.
Yeah, I was just sharing the agenda of the whole collaboration meeting shared on the Umbraco social channel. So yeah, we will definitely follow up on that. And it sounds exciting. So that's cool. Looking forward to more updates, starting from README and not only, and making contributions, especially before Oktoberfest, right? I'm sure also the Oktoberfest is a big area of your interest.
And it's gonna be an interesting one. Hopefully, we'll finish Bellissima by the end of Oktoberfest, right?
Of course.
So all of us.
Easy.
Right.
The power is in the community. I keep fingers crossed and make it all easier for us all, and then it will be fine.
I'm going to give thank you, because he wants to move on to someone else.
Yeah, thank you very much for this update, and stay.
Thanks, Seb. Yeah, it's as you can see, busy here. There's in the background, you've got lots of people. Michael's waving. Michael's actually watching umbraCoffee right now. We've got as well as Lottie waving. Hello.
Yeah, hello everyone. I don't know how to put you on the bigger screen, but it's lovely to see all of these people, and I see everyone who is watching from the outside of HQ are excited as well to see the HQ and people out there. It's really great.
Yeah, so busy here.
Yeah, let them all fuel and eat the proper energy, and then we can move to the next list of updates. I've mentioned Oktoberfest. I think this will be because it seems like October arrived pretty fast this year, and as Seb mentioned, it will be really, it is challenging for the open source projects to really get the most out of it, and we've been talking about it over the last years, and I think we'll be also talking about it this October, and generally we need to all help each other to make it most efficient contribution possible amongst the team. So that will be definitely exciting. And Callum, definitely keep us also updated, and you will definitely share more about everything what your team will come up with soon.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's a lot of things bubbling away. It might take a little bit of time to see any fruit from it, but it will be it'll be good.
Awesome. So yeah, let's jump to other news then to get our list complete. That's a script next mid-month digest, highlighting some of the community activities too. Also, Umbraco Oktoberfest that is coming up pretty soon. And of course, everything what Umbraco can offer and what we can offer to Umbraco, and that's all highlighted here with the events on the way too. So that's really cool. But what is really interesting too is the list of curated collection of things around the web. Also highlighting the Joe's article, which I can't remember if I mentioned. It was mentioned last week. Joe showed it briefly about Umbraco in the Fediverse, with on how we can join the Umbraco community in the craziness of tooling and social communities right now, and how we can stay up to date to everything what Sebastian mentioned as well. But again, we have also Dennis back again with some new updates and the article about the custom Umbraco notification handlers. And I had it opened in the agenda, and it is listed in the agenda, so I just squeezed it here. But it was a really nice article again, defining on how we can implement the custom notification handlers in the latest Umbraco. Sebastian's update about the Hangfire package with the latest release there, and some other updates, including product update from New Marketing Suite. And this one was, which I missed, with the 7 tips for communicating with your developers. Something what truly excites me recently, because I've been doing 2 or 3 talks amongst some of the communities here in Poland about effective communication between the teams, especially from the remote team perspective. And I will definitely dive into this article after the umbraCoffee and see if I can learn some tips from out there. So yeah, that was the digest from Script. Of course, the events we'll be talking about soon, so I won't be talking about it now. Subscribe, stay up to date with the Script releases, and then yeah, that's the mid-month digest. Packages releases. That relates ideally to what Carl mentioned here. So yeah, Rick, who is also in the HQ, we could see Rick's behind Sebastian, released a minor update of block preview package with fixes for some issues raised by Robert and Dean. So that's a new small update to this great package for block preview. Released this week. The next one is from France and Web Wonders, and that's a PDF generator for Umbraco, which can generate the PDF based on some of the fields. And here, I don't know if it is using some of the library listed here. It's not using the Puppeteer and things like that. But generally, straight after the announcement, Jeffrey replied back to France with some intro for the GPL licensing and this package that is used there. And I think this is just proving how collaborative we can be in the community, because some people know something what maybe some others don't know, and we can just help each other, even though we work in completely different industries, companies, and that's something truly worth to mention and highlight. And Jeffrey is usually the one who helps a lot, and he's also with you guys, right?
Yes, he is.
So yeah, that was really nice update from Jeffrey and France. Another one was the Bootstrap, which landed on Marketplace. We've mentioned about this template a couple weeks ago, but now it's on Marketplace and everyone can see how to use it. And 2 more, headless preview update from Jesper, and that's something what we mentioned a while ago, but now I finally realized that I saw it somewhere, and I saw it on some of the projects.
And I think it's coming into the core. So this behavior is coming into the core. So you'll be able to change how the preview button works fairly soon. If it's not out already, I'm not sure. It's coming.
That's also why I wanted to bring it up, because Jesper was doing some updates for the package, and it has a really nice features for hiding the page from being accessed by not authenticated members, and something what Umbraco is definitely going to implement for the headless and not only headless offering. And in this case, especially in the headless, where you don't have a templating engine attached, so that's why and how you can control what you preview and how you want to see that. So that's really nice update, and everyone who wants to see what can be done with that, definitely take a look on Jesper's package. And one thing that we haven't mentioned last week, but something that was released on 14th of September, is the database extension kit. And I wanted to highlight it because it looks like a really nice another way of extending the custom database tables in Umbraco. So you can manage the data in custom tables, extend it with migrations, and generate the UI basically for this editor. So something like Construct, but approached from the different way. And I don't know how it can be used yet, but it seems like it's working for this particular use case, and it's a new package to be explored there.
Very nice. And it says it's got a subscription license as well, so I guess there's a paid tier or something. Interesting.
Yes. Interesting, yeah. I missed that last week, and yeah, that's why I wanted to really bring it back. And maybe someone used it, maybe someone explored it, and maybe someone from Hexu team can also tell us more about it, and we can then see how to use it and if we should use it for some of the use cases. The next meetups and events, starting from some meetups upcoming soon. So Umbraco Can meetup and Umbraco Sydney meetup, plus online demo rendering nested block list via Vue components. Pretty nice title of the meetup for the Milton Keynes Umbraco meetup group next week. And last but not least, there's a meetup in Charlotte already prior to
many meetups next week, eh?
Yeah, prior to the exciting festival season. So that's a packed week of meetups next week, and some of them have an online event attached to that. You can all see that on Umbraco, on the Meetup Pro Umbraco account, which we will link to this episode too. But something what Callum, you're also heading to after this trip in Denmark is the Umbraco Dutch experience.
Yes,
Utrecht.
Oktoberfest is next week, next Thursday, so less than a week to go. I guess tickets still available, but yeah, as we've said many times, it's always a fantastic event. Get your tickets, sign up. I'm looking forward to it.
Yes, and the next one is Umbraco US Summit, same situation. Tickets are on sale. Event is approaching fast. You will be also there, which is on Twitter. So we will be having some exciting insights, highlights from the event there. And everyone who is out there or willing to go to US can still sign up and attend the event. And last but not least, on the approaching something what you are also involved in, Callum, UK Festival, today's hackathon sessions. Any update from your perspective at the moment?
No big update right now. I've just come back from 3 weeks away, so no. But we will be putting up an actual schedule of like talks and stuff very soon. We've onboarded a couple of new sponsors this past few weeks as well, so they'll be updated soon.
Nice.
Get your tickets. It's going to be good.
Yes, secure the tickets, help the organizers be happier, and yeah, I hope to see a lot of the people, and I'm sure that there will be a lot of people catching up on all of those events soon. And be sure to share what you have learned and let us know where you will be. Then maybe you can grab some of you to join us for the umbraCoffee and share more of your perspective. And yeah, anything what you took away from the events there. Speaking about the events and wrapping up the topic, 2 more blog posts that were released after the Codecabin. We highlighted some of them already last week, but some of them pop out after the episode. First, Andy wrote this article on LinkedIn, also summarized his experience, and really in-depth article with great pictures, great highlights, group photos, discussions, topics, lunch insights as well, and a lot of the others. So yeah, great blog post, and yeah, if still anyone is not convinced that it was really nice event, this blog will definitely help. So yeah, check it out. It will be linked in the episode description. And Rachel also wrote an amazing article with the agenda and all the takeaways and highlights from her perspective here. So yeah, that will be also linked. And if there's anything else that couldn't be spotted on the web, please let us know. We'll also attach that to the list of links there. So that's the events. 3 more links to go. One is something what I wanted to highlight in regards to the Oktoberfest, the contributions, the open source spirit. Richard Jackson here shared how he contributed to a very well-known and one of the most popular packages in Umbraco sphere called Using. Maybe someone heard about it. And his contribution is fixing a single typo and removing a space. And that's something what I was always talking about when it comes to open source, that we don't need to build another algorithm for deciding on the importance of something amongst the search results and stuff like that. It's small things like that makes the beautiful results, because typos are easy to be skipped and missed, and we can all contribute and make the badge for ourselves and make the Oktoberfest count as well by fixing small things like that. So yeah, congrats, Richard, and being a listed contributor on package like Using is not a small thing. It's a really nice one, and we can all help each other by contributing like that too. And Andy did the same for some of the other ones. So that's a really nice link of a small contribution.
Guidelines are about to come out that advise about Oktoberfest contributions. Again, the Umbraco rules as well. So I know there's been rules about like this level of contribution before, like fixing, changing typos. I think there's a limit to them counting. I think some of them do count for Oktoberfest, but yeah, exciting. They're always valuable. Always valuable. Yeah.
And as Sebastian mentioned, README files. I do pay a lot of attention to README files, to be fair. Whenever I join the project, if it doesn't say what it does, it's a shame for the package because we cannot use it. And I did spend a lot of my time on Oktoberfest trying to make the README files better for the packages that either I released or someone released. So any contribution counts internally, and maybe not for the Oktoberfest, but it all matters. So yeah, that's one. Another thing was for me, and something interesting what I found, because during the week I joined probably 3 or 4 meetings with other headless CMSs competing with Umbraco, and it gave me a really interesting perspective, as I mentioned here, on what is the niche of us as an Umbraco community, because this is the screenshot from the NPM Trends website, which gathers the number of installations per day of the specific libraries on the NPM library. And it has the, for example, Sanity client, Umbraco headless client, Contentful client, and I choose Storyblock and Strapi just to have a comparison here. But we can choose any kind of libraries there and see how often they are downloaded amongst the whole year. And as we can see here, Umbraco was really there down below. It had 5 to 10 downloads, and it's a library that is for the old headless. So it's not a new headless REST API.
As in hardcore.
Yeah, that's the hardcore library. But we can see, for example, Contentful, Sanity. I was really surprised that Contentful, for example, is such a popular amongst the front-end implementations, right?
Yeah, so that's hadn't clocked that would be so popular. That's a lot of installs per week.
But as a highlight for Umbraco as well, it's like this kind of metric is used amongst the other products to prove that they are maybe not, it's hard to say popular, but they are used by developers. So if we want to get more developers, we want to get more excited developers doing Umbraco headless work, that might be a way to go. That's something what I really are looking for, because I also want to make us popular better and more.
Yeah.
So that's something cool.
If they were to support the native headless delivery API, for example, which will eventually come to hardcore, then actually they'd be more widely used, because anyone doing a headless implementation will be able to just use the libraries, the SDKs available, and point to hardcore or point to a self-hosted Umbraco install or a cloud site.
Yeah, and I had this conversation with Sebastian as well. It's like, okay, we can all write our own connection despite of the framework we use on the front end, right? Because it doesn't matter which framework you use, you can connect to the same APIs. But I think this is also the way how these clients are built, because they are even wrapping the API connection string, the security, whatever else is needed to disconnect. And that's all, right? And it's a metric, it's a number that can be used. And even if it will simplify the first half an hour of setting up the project, that's all what it needs to do. And if it will be used by millions, that's amazing, right? So we'll see. But that was interesting for me to find it, that we cannot compete directly with this solutions by this at least metric. And last but not least, article shared by James and Nurhak. I saw this being released about using Umbraco to reduce the carbon footprint. So as you mentioned, a pretty discussed topic, and sustainability team is also in the HQ now discussing how it can be done and how it can be used. And in this case, we know that Umbraco is investing a lot in making the carbon footprint lower, and how we can use Umbraco is a still open book, and we need to find out how we can make it all work out, right? So that's one of the articles that describes that we can approach it from the some perspectives, and that there are some problems that some of the things can solve, but we still are in front of the challenges, I would say, right? Because it's not clear how we can all do it yet. And that's all from the list today. Anything else, Callum, to be added?
I've been very, very out of the loop. I was not aware of most of that news, so thank you for sharing.
But that's completely understood. And on the other hand, you are inside of the loop of everything what is going on the HQ at the moment. So keep notes, do notes, and let us all know more about what is going out of these discussions. And we do really keep fingers crossed for the effective conversations and actions and everything else out there. And yeah, I hope we'll find out more soon about it.
Yeah, we'll definitely be sharing more.
So yeah, when are you leaving the Odense in Denmark?
Tomorrow evening.
Tomorrow evening. Cool. And you are in Utrecht next week, right? So that's
in Utrecht next week, and also in the US next week. So it's going to be a busy couple of weeks.
Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy. But yeah, we'll try to synchronize as much as we can. We'll do our best. And yeah, say hi to everyone in the HQ, from everyone watching umbraCoffee. Go and let them subscribe to the channel if they are not subscribing yet. We have 938 subscribers, so that's the metric we use.
Nearly there.
Cool. Have a nice hacking, and yeah, we'll see each other on the next umbraCoffee, everyone. So
have a nice
day, and bye, everyone. Cheers.